Hey, William Gilmore here for the ScreenwritersJourney.com. It is day 103 of the journey, and I think I have set myself up for a bit of a stumbling block here. Coming into this day of writing, I had pretty much made it through the halfway point of the script in this series of rewrites where I did a major event swap with two of the characters. Instead of having Grady shot in the first act, instead of having Shep shot in the first act, Grady now gets shot. And that took some work to accommodate that in the second act, the first part of the second act. And it seems to be working pretty well. And I've made it to the halfway point. My problem was that halfway point was coming a little later than I wanted it to. But everything seemed to be working pretty well. The story was moving along. So I was hoping that I could just jump into the second half of the script, which should stay pretty much the same at this point, and do a little cleanup there, maybe take a few pages out, and basically have the script done today. If not today, certainly finish it up tomorrow so it'll be ready for feedback at the beginning of the week. And instead of jumping into the second half, I went back and looked at the first half of the second act leading up to the midpoint just to see if I could take a few more pages out and get that midpoint down a little closer to where it should be. And what happened is I started looking at it. There are the wake-up scene where Grady wakes up after the surgery, and he and Shep discover the cops are after them, and they decide, oh, we've got to go find Tyler. Where is he? And originally it was a cut to Tyler buying his pickup truck and doing donuts for the salesman in the parking lot of the car dealership. It was a nice little cute moment. It offered a little bit of levity in what has been a very dark movie at this point. But in looking at the scene, the series of scenes, it seemed like it would be a really nice jump to go from where is Tyler? We're in the strip club with the thumping house music and topless girls running around. And it's a nice little kind of like humorous moment. It also fits very well. We know that's where Tyler would go. We've set that up in the first act. And it gets us right back into the story with Shep and Grady and Tyler after a little bit of a break in the second act. My problem with that is that I lose not only the scene at the car dealership, which I'm okay with losing. I also lose the scene with Kalita and Raydell, where we kind of see them very angsty in anticipation of the cops coming to get them. You know, what's going on? Neighbors coming in and asking questions. There's conflict between Kalita and Raydell. She's obviously in this with her husband, but she's not happy with what he's done. It's a really nice scene, and it sets up a later scene. I would also have to lose the scene in the bar with Reggie. And there's a couple problems with that scene. First of all, it's there basically as a false obstacle for Grady and Shep when they're looking for Tyler. Originally, they don't know to go to the strip club. They start at the bar where he hangs out. Hey, have you seen Tyler? Oh, I'll go check at the strip bar. Okay, so it's sort of a false obstacle, something put in their way, so they have to go out and keep looking. But it also served to set up a relationship between Reggie and Shep that would come into play later in the movie. But it feels sort of like it's being wedged in there, it's being forced in there. And to be honest, I put it in there simply for marketing, to give Shep a love interest. And I'm not sure that benefits the story, other than from a marketing standpoint. And I've seen a couple of other movies that have done that. I don't remember the name of it. It was a movie I saw recently where a man, his daughter has been kidnapped, and so he basically kidnaps her best friend because she has information on where the daughter might be, and along the way, to have a love interest, to get some sex into the movie, the young woman sort of falls for her best friend's father, and she takes her top off in the car, and it's like, you want to have sex with me? And he's like, no, I don't, you're too young. It was kind of creepy. And basically, that scene only existed so we could see a woman's breast. It's a marketing ploy. It's gratuitous. It had nothing to do with the story, and it felt really awkward. Sure, we got to see a topless woman, but it had nothing to do with the story. So, and I feel kind of that way with the Reggie Shep element of this story. Not that it's gratuitous in that nature, but it's there simply because some marketer's going to say, we got to have love interest. And I don't know that we do. I mean, these guys are on the run from the cops. People are trying to kill them. And they're on the run from a drug gang who's also trying to kill them. I don't think they're going to take time to go, let's go get laid. Well, Tyler does, but that's because he's stupid. But the more mature adult characters who are thinking better, it doesn't make sense. So I'm kind of okay with losing that scene. The problem is losing that Kalita Raydell scene that's in between. That sets up the scene that comes right after the midpoint when the police descend upon their house. There's a sex scene going on there. They're interrupted. That conflict between Raydell and Kalita sort of come to a head, and it's a quasi-rape scene. It's very brutal. It's unpleasant. It's supposed to be. And then the police barge in and interrupt that. And there's a murder that happens there, so that whole scene doesn't make sense without that first scene. So if I lose that first Kalita Raydell scene, this scene's got to have a major rewrite, and I have no idea what to do with that at the moment. So I may put that scene back in, but then that breaks up that little comic moment of, where's Tyler? He's at the strip club. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm making changes for change's sake, or if these are actually better. Am I gaining anything by losing the bar scene and the doing donuts in the car dealership lot scene? I don't know. You have so many things going on in your head and spinning around, and you're trying to make sense of it all. And does this work? Does this work? It does make the midpoint shift down a little bit. I'll probably lose 2 to 3 pages, which will get me closer to where that midpoint should be. So that might be good. Right now, by taking all those scenes out, the midpoint is landing at the bottom of page 54. It's supposed to happen on 55, so I'm literally 1 line off. I'm okay with that. But am I sacrificing story for a page number? I don't know. They would. I'm sure Blake Snyder would tell me, you got to do rewrites to make that work. I don't know. It's a tough decision. I think that scene's going to go back in. I'm going to try to go forward with losing Reggie. But if I lose that scene that's set up for the relationship stuff that happens later, and particularly the ending of the movie when Reggie ends up with the money, doesn't make any sense at all now. So that requires yet another rewrite of the ending. This will be the 3rd different ending, and I'm not sure what to do with that at this point. So I'm not going to be finished this weekend. I'm not. I would love to be able to spend all day tomorrow, Sunday, working on it, but that's not going to happen because I have 2 networking events to go to, and I need to do that as well. So it's going to be a couple more days, and we're starting the new job on Monday. I'm going to be back to limited time, so I'm trying to get some things done in the morning, maybe a couple things in the evening, and whoever said the screenwriting stuff was easy, I need to talk to them. Anyway, so that's my dilemma at the moment. I've rambled on too long about it. I don't know what else to say. It just seemed to be a never-ending project, and my big question right now, I think, is: am I making changes for change's sake, or am I making changes that make the story better? And right now, I'm not sure. I kind of think that these changes are better. Most of them are better. I'm not sure they all are. I don't know. It's time to get this thing finished and get it out for feedback. That's really what has to happen. So I've only got a couple days left before the Christmas break comes up, so I got to do something here very, very quickly if I want to get this thing out. So that's where I'm at. I will leave you there. Check back tomorrow to find out if I got anything done on Sunday, and we'll see you next time right here in the blog. Until then, please keep up the writing.